Well, hello, my friends. It is July 28th or 27th, one of the two, I forget. It's Tuesday, and yes, it is time for your weekly update on how everything's looking in the pumpkin patch behind me. So let's just dive right into it. I have my cheat sheet on how the pumpkins are doing, and we are going to start talking about how the pumpkins are growing because, as you can see, they definitely are growing. This week's been an interesting week. The weather's been really kind of cool and dark and damp. It's maybe 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and it's storming pretty good outside. Well, it's fixing to storm. It's been off and on, so there's no sun. The temperature in here is still pretty consistent because I can turn on and off the wet wall to try and keep it nice and warm. And yeah, so it has been, which is nice. So we'll start at the Bushel Gorge. There's a few things I want to talk about with the Bushel Gorge. Here's the 2 main ones that I pollinated. I do have some other, I think one other one that I pollinated somewhere that's growing, but these are my 2 prime candidates right here. This one is a day younger, or is a day older than this one, and the one on the right is the one that's winning the race. So compare the 2. This one on my right here, I need to call this one off here fairly shortly to definitely get that one rocking and rolling. Remember earlier in the year when I said I wasn't going to bury the Bushel Gorge vines because they didn't send out roots? Well, it looks like that's not necessarily true. There's many sections of the vine that are sending out roots, and next year I definitely will be burying them. The plant itself, let's zoom out, there we go. The plant itself is going nuts. It's going to be impossible to keep up with, and now I'm reminded of last year when I literally took a set of hedge clippers and just kind of picked a spot and cut it back. Yeah, and it's just doing that now. You can see vine tips everywhere. It's going to be impossible to stay on top of it 100%. I'll just do the best I can. Currently watering with today it's some fungicide, a little bit of fish fertilizer, a little bit of humic acid, humic fulvic. Yeah, so the Bushel Gorge are going good. We'll start from the back and work our way this way. So the 1501 Vanderweilen. Here's the main vine right here. I've had this going. Still, most of the vine tips are stopped. This plant is doing very well. I really love the plant. I like how compact it is. This one is measuring at day 24, so it's day 24 for that one. It is 180 pounds, and for the last 5 days it's been averaging 20 pounds per day. So for me, that's pretty good. I'm not going to complain. Something that I'm going to talk about a few times as we wander around the patch is the roots. I'm blown away at my roots this year. You can just kind of see them in there. The weed pressure is fairly low. I've been on top of the weeds pretty good this year. Could be a little bit better, but it could be worse as well. So yeah, 1501, one of my favorites, and it's definitely going to be a nice and orange. Then we're going to go to 1938 Uranus. Next week we'll have names for the pumpkins. This one still I have the highest hopes for, but if I'm being honest, it is the underperformer for this week. This pumpkin is, let's see here, 23 days old, currently estimating at 163 pounds, and for the last 5 days it's averaged 13.6 pounds per day. I don't think that that's really that bad considering the weather. It's also the youngest plant by a few days, so I'll cut it a little bit in the slack. I forgot to trim this here secondary vine. Been pretty good about staying on top of the vines while we're under here. Look at all the roots. All those little white flakes that are everywhere. Those are the roots. Just phenomenal root growth this year. I don't know if it's the products that I'm using or what the deal is exactly, but roots are everywhere, and that's awesome. Let me pinch off this vine since I'm right here, and I'll forget if I don't. There we go. So that vine is off, and I'll throw it over there. The star of the patch, 1911. 1911 today is 25 days old. It is estimating at 215 pounds, and the 5-day average is 21.6 pounds per day. And I think this one's been picking up steam the last few days. It just looks like it gets bigger every day. The vines on everything are buried-ish. Like from this point forward, I've kind of stopped burying because this last week I've just been busy and I simply haven't had time. So if you ain't got time, can't bury them. But for the most part, just about everything is buried. So we'll go check out the 22118, stop along the way, show you some more roots. You know, this part of the year I really don't have a lot to talk about, so the videos will get shorter unless you have questions. I'm always happy to answer them. And on that note, if you like seeing giant pumpkins grow, make sure to check out a few other channels. So you need to water this a little bit more back here. I didn't water overhead today. We were out having a family day and it was fun, so didn't really do a lot of watering back here, which I should have. Anyway, so if you like this, you want to see more, there's Mark Clemence's Secret Garden and Home Tips channel. There's the Growing Giants channel, the Hodge 101, his channel, though I haven't seen a lot of videos from Mick lately. Yeah, so there's 3 good pumpkin channels for you to check out if you want to see more awesome pumpkin growing action. And then the 2118 Barren, I haven't measured this one yet. It is probably 16 or 17 days old, one of the two. Today, after the boy goes to bed, we're going to put down its foam board because it's getting pretty big. In truth, I kind of have high hopes for this plant too, because this pumpkin has the most plants behind it, and it's obviously the furthest back from my door, so this will be the last one to go to a way off, and hopefully with the help of the greenhouse I'll be able to grow well into September. So hopefully that pumpkin does well for me. I'll show you a little bit more. I think this one had some impressive roots too. Yeah, you can see that one I didn't bury. Yeah, over there. It's hard for the camera to pick up all of them, and I don't really want to trample through the plants just to show you some boring roots that probably not many people appreciate other than myself. But yeah, you can see that soil's a little bit too dry. Oh wow, look at those ones. See, so right there, see all those roots? We'll zoom in. All those roots coming out from that node. That's just one node that I buried, and all those roots are pooching out of it, out of the ground. So bury your vines. That's why it's quite helpful in your nutrient and water uptake, which translates into fruit growth. But that's about it, guys. Just a quick update. Everything's doing pretty good this time of the year. I'm concerned about the powdery mildew. Get my finger out of the way. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. Don't have any yet. This is all just my residue from spray. I am trying to stay ahead of the curve. I'm doing a weekly fungicide because now with the greenhouse I have a lot more just moisture in here, and that's something I'm more aware of. So more fungicide and staying ahead of the powdery mildew. So I've been spraying a Mammoth product. It has predominantly neem oil in it. I'm trying not to use Eagle 20. If I get a bad outbreak of powdery mildew, then I will have to break down and use the Eagle 20, which is not what I want to do. I need to start doing some fungus or some insecticides just as a preventative. Look at those roots. Look at that insanity. That is just silly. That is a silly amount of roots. Silly. So hopefully all those silly amounts of roots will make a silly big pumpkin. Yeah. And that's it, guys. So hit that 10-minute mark. That's about as long as I want to go. Make sure you check out those other guys who have awesome YouTube channels. I like watching them all when they get a video out. I pretty much watch them the day of. So check them out. Highly entertaining. Lots of good information out there to help you grow giant pumpkins. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Like the video. Comment below if you have any questions. Get out there. Grow yourself some giant pumpkins. See you, everybody.